Hi, how's everyone doing? I thought I'd go live because I reached 50 subscribers and I'm really excited. Now I can go live from my phone, but I can't do it right away. I guess you gotta wait 24 hours. But I'm really excited about that. So thank you for whomever subscribed. I really appreciate that. I just wanted to give you some reminders in my YouTube. Um, in You can, if you like my content, I have a Cash App. It is completely voluntary, um, but it's completely voluntary. I'll put it in the chat. Also, there's a referral link if you refer people, or you know I guess there's a referral with StreamYard, which I think is cool. And what else? Please comment on my videos. Yesterday, I did a recording with a literacy expert who's a colleague, Dr. Ali Safivand. It's a lot of work, let me tell you. Uh, those YouTubers, they must have really professional people, which I plan on having uh, eventually. But I'm not a comedian. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not anything really out there in the public. I have a specific niche, and it's really hard for me to get out there. I have a YouTube. I'm sorry, an Instagram account. I have a TikTok, and I have I can't remember. I have another one that I really don't get on. I was trying to do Twitch, but no, I tried it and no one was really viewing my content. But I'm not a gamer. I think it's just mainly for gamers. Anyway, I was doing, so I recorded like a 35-minute video with Dr. Safiban, and we were getting into, how to bring the community into the schools to help multilingual learners, how the parents, can help with all of that, and what translanguaging is, which is basically, trying to find the relationship with different words. It's like it's switching back and forth with the home language and the English language, and allowing students to, learn in that manner, showing the relationships between English words and the student's home language, and how to use translations with students. It was really an interesting conversation. I'm not going to get into it. I want you guys to watch it. But I'm really excited about the 50 subscribers. I'm really trying to push for 100. Getting to 50 was a feat. I started this in July, and July of last year. So it was yesterday, July 21st. Actually, it's a 1-year anniversary. I hope I can get to at least 1,000, pretty soon. Well, not soon. It's going to take a long time, but it would be really fun. I mean, I do want to monetize things, but I'm not like, I know people don't have money. So I'd rather YouTube pay me, because YouTube has the money, but the way they pay is with the amount of subscribers that you have and the amount of people watching your stuff. So it's a lot of work, and and the law tubers, I get bored when I'm watching some of the law tubers. Like, I like the legal stuff, but I get like they'll start going over legal documents and I'll just tune out. I think it's more interesting when they're streaming the trials and they kind of stop and whatnot and explain things, but it gets kind of boring to talk about the legal documents. So I don't want this to be boring. I just want to talk about what's important. I mean, AI is important. It's trending in the school systems. It's controversial. I mean, obviously, there are some, hard issues with AI in the classroom. When it comes to multilingual learners, you should do it. You should use it, because I think it benefits them a lot. I mean, they're not. I don't see multilingual learners really using it as a way to cheat, because if they're struggling with English, how are they going to use it? How are they going to use the tool? I think it's great though to help them translate things. They can, in Chat GPT, they can copy and paste what they're trying to learn. So I think AI is not going away. And like everything else in the world that changes and that evolves, it will be part of the educational platform, with policies in place. So anyway, that's that. But I kind of like, if you're watching, I want to know like what's on your mind. Like, I know I was going to do a deep dive on Finland's education system. So let's just kind of do that a little bit, just real quick here. I'm just going to do a little Finland and compared to America's educational system. Let's just hop off what we're looking at here. I'm going to share a screen. Oops. I'm going to share a screen. Let me see. Again, I'm getting used to all this. Let's see. Share screen. So Finland's education system compared to, sorry about that, compared to the US, and this was published in 2025. So it says the contrast between Finland and US education is striking. The report provides a detailed comparative analysis of these two distinct educational systems and philosophies. It explores the interesting and often surprising differences in their fundamental structures, core principles, teacher training methodologies, curriculum design, and ultimately academic performance. So we'll skip that other paragraph. Finland's education system visits the US. Education in Finland is unique, and its system consistently performs well in international education rankings. But what exactly makes Finland's education system so favorable and successful, especially compared to the US? According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, the United States, I just want to give credit. This is by Math and Movement. The United States spends approximately 23% more than Finland on education per primary student. That's amazing. The statistics published by the Statista Research Department in December 2020 showed the US had an annual expenditure per primary student of $14,321, while Finland's annual expenditure per primary student was $11,212. That's amazing. I mean, we do spend a lot, right? We spend on, lunches, buses, everything. There's got to account for everything, books, supplies. Every quarter, the nonprofit group, New Jersey Minority Educational Development, ranks over 200 nations' education systems. The project, known as the World Top 20 Poll, evaluates data indicative of quality education access and safe learning environments. Specifically, the project considers school enrollment rates, school completion and graduation rates, test scores, and student-to-teacher ratios. In 2025, Finland ranked number 8, while the US sits at number 31. That's Amazing. Notably, Finland has maintained consistently high rankings since the project's inception in 2013, solidifying the reputation of Finland's education rankings. So given that the US spends 23% more on education per primary student than Finland, why does the Finnish education system continually rank higher than the US? Comparing the Finland and US education systems raises critical questions about educational efficiency and effectiveness. So transform math and literacy with kinesthetic learning, right? That's what they do, you know. Oh, that's an ad, but kinesthetic learning is critical. And I believe that Finland does that. The foundation of Finland's educational success. Here we go. The education system in Finland and the USA differ in their fundamental approaches. Finland's educational philosophy emphasizes equal opportunity for all. Can you imagine? Equal opportunity for all. Equity, right? That is the ultimate way of ensuring everyone is successful. You have student A who is succeeding, and you have student B who's struggling. How do we get student B to get to student A? Well, we've got to fill in those gaps. And I know it's hard. I'm a teacher. I teach in a rural district. So I'm going to be real honest. I mean, there are times when the students don't want the help, or maybe they're embarrassed, they're in high school, they're not able to read. And you can do, the report is critical, but then there's a lot of other things going on. There's home life, there's the embarrassment of not being able to read or write or whatnot. And it doesn't have anything to do with you as a teacher. It has to do with the gaps, things that they're going through, and the need to want to fit in with other students, right? If the student success rate on your campus is campus-wide, then you can bet your bottom dollar student B is going to feel out of place and is going to want to try, right? Because they're going to want to fit in. But you can also bet your bottom dollar that if 80% of the campus or 70% of the campus is struggling, and those students that are struggling are all out and about, screwing around, ditching classes, student B is going to want to fit in with that, and you're going to have a battle. And so the Finland system ensures that everyone is succeeding. So let's go ahead and continue. The glasses that I'm wearing are terrible. I have a new eye doctor that I'm going to use next year to get me a new pair of glasses. Unlike the United States, where education involves a mix of publicly funded traditional and charter schools, Finland's system is predominantly publicly funded, with different approaches to private institutions. In Finland, private schools exist, but they operate under regulations and receive funding that closely align with the public schools. Well, that's interesting. They don't do that here. The private schools are funded by the parents. The parents pay, and they're not related. The kids can learn at their own pace. They excel at their own pace. But students at the public level can also excel. It just depends on the public school system you go to. Finland also supports its students with comprehensive services, including free meals, transportation, and healthcare, encompassing nurses, dentists, psychologists, and social workers, all provided at no cost. You see, this is not the way it is in America. We have taxes have to pay the social workers, the dentists, the psychologists on the campuses. And so, if taxes are low in a particular community, then the pay is not going to be very good. In rural areas, like in my district, we didn't have a school psychologist for a very long time. We didn't have nurses for a very long time. We didn't have a site nurse for a very long time. Well, we finally got one. And so when you have people moving out of my state in large numbers, these jobs are not going to exist in the future. Finland also supports its students with comprehensive services, including free meals, transportation, and healthcare. We already went over that. A critical aspect of Finland's educational system is its unique structure. Formal schooling begins at age 7. Wow. Preceded by universal preschool and daycare. Universal preschool. I mean, what does that tell you? Universal. Everyone gets educated. Finland emphasizes early childhood development through play-based learning, going back to what I was saying with that ad, hands-on learning, setting a strong foundation for future academic success, which is what New York's public school system is doing. They are making it a graduation requirement that you have to know these concepts hands-on, which is what we need to do on the West Coast. This contrasts with the U.S. system, where approaches to early childhood education and the use of play-based learning can vary more widely. Compulsory education in Finland extends to age 18, and the system embraces experimental teaching styles, minimizing homework and eliminating national standardized testing during basic education. What does standardized testing do? Test you on, and this is what New York is doing. They're getting away from this, because they're noticing that it's not preparing them, which is what Finland is doing, right? They are getting away from this. New York is advanced. Those kids are way more advanced. So other states have a lot to learn with this stuff. So I don't want to bore you too much, but play-based learning in Finland, see, they're hands-on, colorful things. Finland's model of education prioritizes play and joy. I mean, when do we learn best? When we're playing with things, when we're interested in what we're doing. When we want to learn more about something that's interesting to our brains, right? Like there's a case, look, I like true crime, but a lot of things I'm not interested in. But this case, this Pinot case, the boat crash case, I found it interesting, only because, this guy is going through a trial, and, he could go to jail for something that was just an accident. He could go to jail for up to 50 or 60 years or longer. There was tragedy involved. So, but I found it interesting because it was just an accident. He wasn't doing anything reckless, apparently. So anyway, I found it interesting. So to me, this is like, my brain is in it. Education up to age 7 is predominantly play-based, encouraging social, emotional, and cognitive development. Now, SEL, you hear those things, right? Social, emotional learning. When the kid is passionate about something, they're going to want to learn more. I'm passionate about this case, so my brain is already into it. I'm not into everything. I'm just not. I'm going to give you another example. So I thought, wow, I found a really good sort of genre of books I would like to read. True crime books. Well, I'm reading one, and it started out great, but they're not getting to the heart of the story. A girl, her family gets, killed, and it's supposed to be about finding the killers, right? She was convicted. They thought it was her, but now she's on a vengeance to figure out who it was. It wasn't her. And I'm like, I have 100 pages left, and it's really dragging because the story goes off into these other stories. And I'm like, it's disconnected for me. And so, I'm going to finish it, but it's taking a while, like unlike other books. This approach combining free and teacher-directed play helps students build relationships, embrace communication skills, develop independence, and learn to manage risks. Outdoor play in nature is also emphasized, and that's important too. I mean, I love nature. When I was teaching at the college, I was teaching them outside. They wanted to learn outside, so I did it. It was a small class, and it was fun. Children learn so well through play, they don't even realize they are learning because they are so interested. Explains Annie Kaisa Osei. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Nutmoa, a Finnish preschool teacher. If anyone knows how to pronounce that name, please do let me know in the chat. Her school's director agrees. It's not a natural way for a child to learn when the teacher says, take this pencil and sit still, which is what we do here in America. Oops. Movement and social emotional growth are intrinsically linked in Finnish education. Arja Sisko Halapa, a counselor for the Finnish National Board of Education, states, play is a very efficient way of learning for children, and we can use it in a way that children will learn with joy. There's an old Finnish saying, those things you learn without joy, you will forget easily. I can't agree more. Finnish law mandates 15 minutes of play for every 45 minutes of formal instruction, resulting in improved student behavior, enhanced attention span, and better overall academic performance. As Pasi Sahlberg notes, the primary goal of kindergarten is not to prepare children for school academically, but to make sure they are happy and responsible individuals. The outcomes of this approach are reflected in Finland's education ranking and student success rates. 88% of Finnish children participate in early childhood education. 99% complete secondary school, and 87% graduate high school, demonstrating the effectiveness of Finland's educational strategies. The approach to education in Finland underscores the importance of holistic child-centered approach that prioritizes well-being and engagement. A comparative look at teacher preparation and professionalism. In the context of Finland and U.S. education, the teaching profession in Finland stands out for its high prestige, often rivaling that of medicine. That esteem is rooted in rigorous qualification standards. A master's degree is mandatory. It is not mandatory in the U.S. For teachers at all levels, except for kindergarten, which requires a bachelor's degree. Teachers' education is research-driven, blending disciplinary knowledge with pedagogy and extensive practical experience in university settings. Once certified, teachers then enjoy significant autonomy in their classroom, including curriculum development and textbook selection, it is the way it is in America, but the district does have to approve the textbooks that we use. So we get a selection, but the district has to approve it. Finland also prioritizes continuous professional development, supported by both employers and the Ministry of Education and Culture. Notably, Finland's trust-based system avoids national teacher evaluations. The variability of U.S. teacher qualifications. In contrast, the United States presents a more varied picture, and teacher requirements differ significantly by state. While a bachelor's degree is a standard, some states incentivize master's degrees, which is true. Public school teachers must typically hold state certifications involving approved training, student teaching, background checks, and subject-specific exams. Private school teachers in the U.S. often lack this requirement, which is pretty true. We'll skip through that. Comparing philosophies of curriculum design and assessment. Finland's curriculum design is guided by the National Core Curriculum, a uniform foundation for local curricula promoting equity in education across the nation. The national framework sets broad objectives, yet local authorities and schools have the autonomy to tailor education. The Finnish curriculum emphasizes transversal competencies like thinking and cultural competence alongside traditional subjects. Multidisciplinary modules encourage integrated knowledge across the subject areas too. which we're pushing towards in America, but we're still not there. I'm going to skip through that. You can read through that. US curriculum design through decentralization and standardized testing. So that's all. It's, you know, we have the Common Core standards, and everything has to be standardized according to the district. So Finland's academic performance and outcome. The strong emphasis on equity within the Finnish education system contributes to relatively small achievement gaps between students from diverse socioeconomic backgrounds. The curriculum's focus on deeper learning and critical thinking skills is also believed to play a significant role in these positive outcomes. Finland's sustained high performance in the international comparisons, despite having less instructional time, interesting, and prioritizing well-being over extensive standardized testing, suggests that its educational philosophy and pedagogical practices are highly effective in promoting student learning and development. So the strong emphasis on standardized testing in the US may inadvertently lead to a greater focus. So I'm going to let you guys read a little bit on your own, and I'll leave the link in there. But I went into a little bit of a deep dive into this, and I think, again, it's interesting that, you know, Finland succeeds like this, and it does very well. So here's the link. It'll be in the YouTube channel as well, because I always want to make sure I back up what I'm saying and what I'm talking about. And I do think it's important to, you know, to support our students. You know, it's a lot of work. It takes a village. And we need to, you know, be able to help our students succeed. I just have to change the title. I'll probably edit it again. But, you know, our country, we need to do a little bit more. We need to, we have the money, we have the manpower, but we need to push to get students to not only learn the material, but to apply it to real life situations. So how to do emails, how to communicate, how to communicate with your friends, how to communicate with your teachers, different contexts. And I know we're getting there, but to me, I just think like we just need to keep pushing forward, and it's a lot of work. I mean, I always thought, you know, I'm a little bit more ahead of the game, but it does take a village and it's a lot of work. And so we have to help everyone succeed, no matter what their cultural background, no matter what their linguistic background is, no matter any of that stuff. And we need to help our students. I think the guy got not guilty, which is amazing. So anyway, we need to help our students get through that. And that's my phone, and help them succeed. So anyway, enjoy the stream, and we will talk later.